Hello my fellow hunters, in this video we're gonna compare the efficiency of critical boost to chain crit in comparison to different file types and different switch X play styles. Maybe you remember my spreadsheet, so currently we have 61 viewers on the spreadsheet, so thanks for the attention I got, and every day I see so much people visiting the spreadsheet, so it makes me very happy. Thanks for supporting me and checking out the spreadsheet. At the bottom of the spreadsheet I to always add some interesting tables, interesting links and new stuff I added to the spreadsheet, so you can see for today the 8th Orchest calculation examples added for chain crit versus critical boost math comparison. And at the top you can read here, ask me here, Monster Hunter Reddit, Monster Hunter Meta subreddit is the correct platform to ask me questions. Just put it in the subreddit, the question, and every day after I stand up and have my breakfast, I'm gonna check the Monster Hunter Meta subreddit. That's the first thing I'm gonna do when I stand up. So yes, feel free to ask some questions there, and until yet the most questions were kinda average. So for example, what file type is better, or what sharpness should I play, purple or white sharpness? So that's questions very obviously to ask or answer, but 13 hours ago we got a question submitted by Bleach Soda, and he asked a question which doesn't get a lot of attention, only 3 upvotes. I previously saw other questions that were not something special and they got about 50 or 60 upvotes, and so I decided to make a special video for that, to give this the correct attention it deserves. So he asked, which one should I prioritize maxing out on power file? So he especially asked for power file, but we're gonna make the morph for elemental file and power file. Yes, power file switch X, it helps. All my affinity comes from Rex 3. Yes, so he mentions he has a power file and all his affinity comes from Rex 3, so he made currently correct. Current meta for switch X is just to use Rex 3 and that's it. No other affinity increasing skills. So unfortunately he didn't vote what playstyle he have. If he just play aerial or grounded or mixed playstyle, we didn't know, so we're gonna do it for all playstyles. And after I'm done with the morph and the video, we're gonna read the comments, because I also currently didn't read the comments, and I'm very interesting at the end what are the users telling or what the user thoughts are. So I calculated all the stuff here in the live stream. I didn't know whether it's currently uploaded or what else, but it was the 56th episode of the Monster Hunter Morph live streams, and currently it's not uploaded, but maybe in the next few hours it's gonna be online, and I'm just gonna show you the results. The first thing, before I show you the results, I have to explain how I calculated it exactly, so you can also read it at the bottom of the video, where we go to my calculator. So it's here, the calculator. So at this point, thanks to Kokabora for updating the calculator. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So the average true raw of the meta swags is, you can see here, for 10.02, you can see here everything has a checkbox. It's a meta switch X, so even for power and elemental file it's about 330 raw for average switch X. You can also have charms like power talon and other stuff, so I just use 330 raw. It's pretty much similar, but the element is very different, and I'm using for both weapons purple sharpness. And yes, average element you can see here for the elemental switch axis, it's extremely high, 78, 74. Yes, so I only include the calculation for the meta switch axis, so not for Delex switch X also, because it's no meta switch X and currently not everyone uses it. But I think after the title update, the Delex switch X is maybe gonna be pretty much OP, because yes, it can't reach purple, but I think if Delex switch X can reach purple, it's gonna be a crazy switch X, because it has the highest raw possible. I think Delex a new title update with purple sharpness, it's the best switch X for aerial playstyle. Not for grounded, but for aerial, because huge chunk of raw. Yeah, so you can see here, elemental vials tend to have more element, but I use same sharpness grade. Yes, so here you can see the results I got. These are the base values I got. You can see here for weakness exploit grade is 2 out of 3. Reason for that is I'm, like always, using for my calculator the hit zone values of 60 raw, 25 element, 45 raw, 20 elemental hit zone value, and 30 raw, 15 elemental hit zone value. So you can see the wax trigger is 2 out of 3. And I also slapped in all that stuff here. You can also see here the amount of fixed damage. For example, you can see for aerial playstyle 50% of the damage output is fixed damage. And for grounded it's only about 25%. So I calculated all that stuff here. I used for 3 slots, so you can compare crit boost 3 with chain crit 3. And I also made all other combinations like chain crit 2 compared to crit boost 1, or critic boost 2 compared to chain crit 1, and all for the other, so all possible combinations, all that were about 9 possible combinations up from level 1 to level 3. And yes, I'm gonna just show you the results for the percentage values because they are more interesting. And I also wrote a summary at the bottom here. I'm gonna show that you later. So to make it all very easily, if you have 3 skills, like I explained currently, we didn't know how the slot sizes of chain crit, if there are later add slots or not, but I personally think it's a 3 slot skill. But I think it's similar to Coalescence, and it's definitely a 3 slot, but I don't want to talk too much about it. I think it's 3 slot, but it also can be another slot, I didn't know. But I'm sure we got decos for chain crit in the future. So yes, so if you can add 3 levels, definitely the way to go is chain crit 3 over crit boost 3. You can see here for grounded playstyle up to 9.4% DPS increase, and an average minimum chain crit 3 has regardless of the playstyle DPS increase of about 7.5%, and for crit boost 3 it is only 1 up to 3%, which heavy depends on the file type and the playstyle. Yeah, so for 3 slots, chain crit 3 is by far the best, no questions. And now for 2 skill levels, so you can see also here only examples if you only use chain crit 2 with crit boost 1 or critical boost 2 with chain crit 1. It is not that good. You can see it's about 2% better. So yes, critical boost in that salad can't do anything. Yeah, so that's the way to go. And now for if you only can fit in 2 skill levels, so I got some in the live stream, a comment from Akira, I didn't remember the name, who said he can only slot in 2 levels of chain crit. So I also calculated for this scenario. We have 3 combinations, either chain crit 2, chain crit 1 combination with critical boost 1 or critical boost 2. So in this scenario I want to also say that chain crit 2 is still the best possible combination you can have. There is one exception. If you have an elemental vial and go completely full 100% uptime for the grounded playstyle, chain crit 1 and critical boost 1 is a tiny little bit better than chain crit 2, but for general playstyle you also do maybe some other hits or as well. So for general playstyle I also recommend, if you have only 2 slots, also the way to go is chain crit 2. And now if you only fit in 1 slot level, you can see by far that's most easy to understand. Sorry, that was wrong. If you can only slot in 1 skill level, yes, chain crit is by far the best choice you can do. You can use only one level of chain crit increases your DPS by 5% or even more if you have elemental fire grounded playstyle. So it's one level of chain crit is just completely crazy, and critic boost one completely useless. It doesn't do anything. You can see here, if you play aerial switch X, critical boost is completely useless. You can see here only 0.7% damage increase or 0.64 depending on the file type. But yes, critical boost, never use critical boost when you play aerial switch X. It is very useless. I just recommend it if you have all other skills maxed out. If you have maxed out Dereliction, if you have maxed out Agitator or maxed out Resentment, you can slap in some crit boost for aerial switch X. But yes, for aerial switch X I didn't recommend critical boost at all. Yes. So that was the question was very easy to ask. Yes, chain crit is always better than any crit boost, especially for aerial playstyle. It's a lot better. Yes, now just gonna read my summary. You can also check the spreadsheet yourself. But yes, very surprising. The efficiency of chain crit 1 in comparison to critical boost 1 was very surprising. I didn't expect that it was that high the difference. Yes, chain crit 1 is stronger than critical boost 3, very interesting. You can see here critical boost 3 and chain crit 1. So yes, chain crit 1 is about 2% stronger than critical boost 3, very interesting. Yes, slot priority always chain crit, and yes, if you completely max out chain crit you can maybe go for crit boost if you want. In general, chain crit and critical boost scales better with grounded playstyle. You can see it here. You get maybe here up to 9% grounded playstyle, and for aerial it's all about 1% low. All values are 1% less or 0.5% less. So in general they skills better scaling with grounded playstyle, because the elemental modifier of the CST ticks are only 0.7, and for the finisher, which is 100 fixed motion value, it's only 2. So it scales not that good if you play aerial switch X. Yes, fire burst scales extremely good with element, because you always have 1.0 elemental multiplier regardless of the monster's hit zone. And yes, so for aerial playstyle I personally recommend to use Agitator, Resentment, Mail of Fire or Dereliction over crit boost, but only if you go for full aerial playstyle. Yeah, for example, for Elemental Fire only 1.68% DPS increase with crit boost 3, so crit boost 3 is a joke for aerial switch X. If you can only fit in less amount of slots, chain crit is still better. Yes, so that's the conclusion of all the stuff. So now you can easily say, yes, just use chain crit over crit boost in all scenarios, and now we're gonna read the answers. They have, the stuff they've answered here. So the interesting thing is, the question is really good, he asked, and the question got 3 upvotes, but this answer got 14 upvotes. So that's some stuff I didn't understand of Reddit. Why does the answer get about 5 times more upvotes than the question itself? But okay, that's currently not the problem. Ronin 03. Chain crit over crit boost, fire damage con crit, but receive a boost from chain crit. Yes, correct. And he also yes, given the correct answer. So shout out to Ronin. Thanks for telling the correct answer. Windolin, I think because of the way chain crit is front loaded. So what is front loaded? I didn't understand the German translation. Okay. Vorgeladen. Okay, I currently don't know what is the translation into German, but I think front loaded is something like strong or broken, didn't know, out of the context. The 1 point in it is first priority. Yes, that's also a very good thing he mentioned. 1 point of chain crit is just completely crazy. But getting CB3 next before adding more to chain. Okay, this is wrong. He said, Vendilion said, use chain crit 1 and then crit boost 3. So this is wrong. Also for every playstyle, this is currently not the correct answer. but we're gonna go further. Yeah, so this is mathematically not correct. Chain crit, Ellie Singer 0412. You're only getting 50% crits, that's correct in the end state, and only on weak points. That's also correct thing, so that's why I used the 2 out of 3 Wax trigger. Swags get good elemental damage, thus less with power fire, but that plus fire benefiting with attack going up. Yes, so that's also a thing. Chain crit makes more sense. Okay, he's completely correct with all the stuff he said, so I didn't know why he got a downvote. So I'm giving him an upvote. Okay. I'm giving him an upvote, so I didn't understand why someone giving him a downvote. Just a banana. Most swags move concrete, but if you're not using discharge, then yeah, also correct. Sligger or Seeger. Fire damage doesn't crit, but everything else does. I actually say most moves can crit, but it's significant to build other skills before. Yes, also correct. Didn't especially say how many levels, but in general he's correct. Claiming that most moves don't crit is just objectively wrong and incredibly misleading when the majority of your damage doesn't come from files. What? I don't understand the grammar. Yeah, I didn't currently understand the last sentence he wrote. So yes, what was the person who is wrong currently? So the only person who was wrong was, in this scenario, was Mendelian. With the first sentence he's right, he said that's very strong and the first level has the most priority. But then he said, but getting CB3 next before adding more chain. Yeah, and this sentence is wrong. So yes, maybe he gonna edit his comment afterwards. I'm not sure. You now have the video and you see. So pretty much interesting to read the comment, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and feel free to go to the Monster Hunter Meta subreddit and ask your question there. There are a ton of Switch X questions. So see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.